future Councilwoman Cheylynda Barnard, and she is in the house, and we did part one. This is now part two. Welcome to the Donovan Sadiq Show. Don't believe the hype, and she is here, and she is not giving us any hype. She's giving us all truth. So, you know, I grilled you in that last one. You didn't know what was coming at you, and you answered everything very, very well. You've decided to run. You're here. People are excited about your candidacy. Another quick question. Other than your obvious differences, what's going to make your council thing different than Cabrera's? I mean, what is it that he's doing or didn't do that when you're going to get there, it's going to be totally different?
I guess what I can say is I'm going to actually engage with the community. It's not going to be an afterthought, which is something that I noticed in the first candidate forum, that he admitted we didn't engage with the community the way we needed to.
He did say that.
And because of that, I feel like that's what left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. Mm-hmm. So I want to engage with the community because I believe community engagement, community involvement is what's important. We need to do that. That's what needs to happen.
Sure. In today's in today's thing, we have no, that's okay. Somebody's at the door.
That's my mom, by the way. I'm at home.
Yes.
And here comes the baby.
Yeah, here comes the baby. There he is. He's all
no, they're going through the garage.
They're going through the garage. Grandma's messing that up. Good. But in today's election cycles and what's going on, let me lose my thought there. But how can I say this? Your predecessors, let's say 30 years from now, this city's only 34 years old. So long after you have left the seat, what is the legacy you want to leave when people say, council, I remember when, Councilman Barnard was on there, what's going to be your legacy?
I want the legacy to be that of integrity was restored, that it was about the community, it was about the residents, and it wasn't about developers, and we made it what this town is supposed to be, or the city is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a vibrant place for a community where you raise your families.
Absolutely.
And if that means that we have to spend some money at some of these parks to have quote unquote city family barbecues, I don't have a problem doing that. One thing that consistently bothers me, and I've brought this up, is the state of the city address that they do.
Look, don't get me started.
I do not like that they charge residents money. Or they'll say, well, there's this room you guys can sit in.
Yeah, and you sit in this room with 4 cupcakes and a couple of waters.
No. What you need to do is fine. You want to make it a fundraiser for the chamber? Okay, fine. But then what you need to do is open the city council chambers later on in the evening or something like that, or on a weekend. Let the community members come in, give them some cookies, give them juice, chips, whatever. Mm-hmm. And have them sit down and have the mayor stand up there and do the same thing again. Give the speech in front of them again. How can you charge the taxpayers to sit there and listen to the state of the city?
Right. I'm glad you brought that up. That opens up another question.
Okay.
The last couple of State of the City addresses, they keep giving awards to Ido Bendizi, and yet he has produced nothing but lawsuits. What is your opinion of that?
I'm pretty sure there are plenty of businesses we can give innovative awards to. Mm-hmm. There are plenty of businesses that have provided the jobs that they keep telling us that, that the World Logistics Center is going to provide. We have businesses and small business owners now that are providing those jobs that we can give an award to for being innovative, for taking care of their employees. We can do that stuff now. So maybe we need to look in the hat because we're so diverse and find some other people we can give some awards to.
Here in this area, and like I said, I'm in Edgemont, as everybody knows. I have a big beef with the city when it comes to that because a lot of our property tax was used for the benefit of the other districts. Over here, there is a problem. We got the trails, the commission. All these commissions were done away with. That means no people input. What is your take on that?
Well, there was a reason we had so many commissions and they were separated out, and I've understood over the years it's been dwindled down, and people haven't showed up, so we haven't been able to have, to have a quorum and all of that. There's a reason they were all separated out, so that one wouldn't cross over the other, and so that everything got their attention to detail meant. What I'm learning is that everything is being collapsed, and yet we're still having the same problem. The efficiency still isn't happening. I mean, how long was it for the planning commission where they weren't even having meetings and they were canceling? And I feel like they just canceled one not even a month ago. They canceled one. So we need to really look at, do you really want the community involved?
Sure.
When you're starting to reduce the number of commissions and boards and the members that are on them and consolidate them, you're starting to tell me you don't really want the community involved. If the consolidation was something where we're consolidating it to make it run more efficiently, then why do we have 30 plus vacancies? Well, shouldn't we have shouldn't everything be filled?
Right, but again, if you heard some of my shows where I talk about how we're shooting ourselves in the foot, who wants to be a part of the clown show?
Donovan.
No, I mean, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to slam everything, but you got to look at it from the citizens' part. But there are some
people who are not involved in all of this part of the politics of Moreno Valley, who truly have a heart to serve.
Sure. But those few people, I mean, you know, they can't let them do everything like that. So that's a good answer. But since we're talking about reducing commissions, what about expanding districts? What's your take on that?
We do need to expand districts of 200,000 plus people. We need to go ahead and expand the districts out. One representative having roughly 50,000 people to them, that is a lot. And that's another reason that citizens and residents are having an issue with contacting their representative, because the numbers are just too high. It's the same thing with schools, right? There was a law that was put in place that the ratio couldn't go over 28,
right,
28 or 30 in a class. And that was because teachers needed to divide their attention among students. And once you got to 45 or 50, that was just ridiculous.
So when that initially happened and they reduced the districts, what was your opinion of that? Because we had 5. Yeah. And you went to 4 and
we reduced mayor. And got an elected mayor.
Yeah, which isn't the same thing. I mean, so what was your opinion when that happened? You see what I'm saying? It's like nobody spoke out.
What they should have did was left the 5 districts and then maybe elected a mayor. That was one solution. That would have probably worked and helped some of this out. But by reducing it and giving this elected mayor, at the end of the day, all you did was shorten the representation and made representation hard.
You got to think about it. The people that are in power right now, the 3-0 Club, which is Kid Kerberos, Baca, and Idiot Gutierrez, by having these lower districts...
You got to start talking about them and using their proper names.
I did. Trust me, I did.
No, don't
I did.
Even.
When you act like it, I'm going to call it out. You know how I am. But anyway.
I know.
But by doing these districts, don't you think that they did that to stop recalls? Because it's a higher threshold now because you got more people in that district.
That could be one solution.
No, it's not a solution. That's what they did.
That could be one probable cause, is that they did it to make recalls harder.
Right, because in a city that's growing, you don't reduce.
You don't reduce. I understand that, but we can't always keep hashing out what happened in the past. We got to move forward and fix it now.
Okay. Let's say when you get on the dais, can we get a pledge from you that you and the mayor and the other majority or whatever, we got to get away from this majority crap, but the other representatives are going to revise how the mayor conducts and his power on that day. I think that's one of the main problems that we're having, where he can appoint this and appoint that, because he's appointing people on commissions and on state boards and city, like the March Powers thing, that aren't even qualified. I mean, why is Kid Kerberos on the March Powers thing? He was never in the military. He just got out of high school. Okay. But you got Dave Marquez, that's a military. You see what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but when we voted in, I'm not saying I voted for it, okay. But when we voted it in, because we have to go with whatever the vote came out to be, what we said was, these are the rules to it.
Sure. But what are you going to do to change that? Because that is not right and it's not fair. Where the mayor can hamstring unilaterally put people on boards that aren't even qualified.
We would have to have myself and 2 other people that want to bring that up for discussion, that are able to get it done. It does us no good if we can't get that done, now, to keep hammering it out.
Absolutely. Now, if the majority does change and it goes in a different direction, and you guys want to keep the majority like they're doing to us and slamming it to people and, silencing the other 2, is that something that you would be for or would you be against?
No, I don't believe we should silence, because it's not...
So we're going to go back to the 2 could put something on the agenda.
No, but I feel like we can work with each other.
Sure.
I feel like we can work with each other. We can leave it at 3. I understand why it was done. A lot of people do not agree with it. Mm-hmm. I understand why it was done because you don't want 2 people to continually bring up the same issue over and over again. Mm-hmm. But honestly, come November 6th, if the majority flips the way most people believe it's going to flip in the city,
sure,
then guess what that forces the other ones to do?
Work with the...
right, which is what the rule initially should have been and what's supposed to be, was to force everyone to work together because that's what we're supposed to do. And we're not going to silence the other ones because, well, guess what? You silence them, so now you're on the outskirts. That's not fair to that district.
Sure, no. Now, Donald Trump has been rolling back a lot of Obama things. Now, there are some things that has been done in this city that is totally wrong. Would you be for rolling back and revisiting some of the things that Idiot Gutierrez and the Highland Fairview 3 have done that have basically destroyed the city?
So Mayor Gutierrez and his counterparts have done some things. We do need to revisit them. One rule that I think we do need to revisit is the transparency rule regarding how long the agendas are posted. Because they've shortened the window for you to review an agenda. Sure. I have read an entire agenda packet. It is a lot to chomp on. You need time, and sometimes I need to take a break and reread it because maybe my mind's getting foggy. I believe before it was 12 days. We need to go back to that. Because one reason that rule was in place was because they wanted to restore integrity and faith back into city government, which a lot of the citizens had lost. And for you to then remove it tells us that you just didn't care. Right.
In the city, and let's face it, the problem and the perception in this city is the mistrust of our elected officials.
Yes.
How are you going to go and restore that? Other than your personal example of who you are, but how do you restore that?
Being available, talking with them, being transparent, not making everything hush-hush or off the record.
Like with the staff and stuff being more personal, because I know when I go into the city hall, they roll their eyes when they see me. But what I'm saying is, I know they're under stress and they're worried about their jobs and all that other stuff, but we have to start telling these people who don't live in our city, but they're taking our money.
It's about customer service is what we're getting down to.
Right. And it seems like they try to hide everything and they want to, put you through all these changes, in which I put them through all those changes. So
it starts with customer service and reminding them that they're here to serve the community because we're a customer service type of business.
Sure.
We're a customer service type of city. And that's what you have to restore back to them, is that we're customer service. Unless it's confidential, then we need to be able to discuss it and say what it is. We need to help you guys find the information because you don't always know what you're looking for, but they do.
Sure. Another problem we're having is 12 of the department heads. Matter of fact, all of the department heads don't even live in the city. And I know what our charter is, whatever. I'm not saying, we're going to make it Moreno Valley, hire Moval. You can't tell me you can't find... Other than the fire chief, he's the only one that lives in the city. Other than him, you can't find qualified people that are going to have our interests at stake. Because nothing against Mike Lee, but he came from another city. Other people come with, and they have experience. But you can't tell me there's got to be some kind of law or clause that we can put in there that says, hey, you have to, move here within 30 days or a year or something. No, there's got to be something you can do, because how can somebody who lived in Orange County going to say, oh, well, we'll give you guys a bunch of Mexican restaurants and truck stops and, things that they wouldn't have in their city. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes. So...
Because we have qualified people here in Reno Valley.
So what you're trying to say is that someone who doesn't live in this city can't serve the city?
No, that ain't what I'm saying. I'm saying is we are not making it viable to find
Do you
qualified
really
applicants.
Due to the nature of what happens at City Hall, do you really want someone that lives in the city to be your city manager, to be your city...
No, that ain't what I'm saying. Out of 12 people, statistically, there are none that live in the city. Whatever department.
Whatever department. You're talking about department heads, though, right?
Department heads.
But you want the most qualified.
The most qualified.
You don't believe that if we start hiring, you want to hire from within the city of Moreno Valley?
Not necessarily. I want to get the most qualified, but what I'm saying is, other than Ahmad, who being the fire chief...
Right, he lives out here.
Right. Mm-hmm. The statistics of not having nobody living in the city. I've gone to Orange County. I've gone in, and they found people in their city.
Okay.
I've gone to San Bernardino. I've found people in their city.
But I feel like the reason they hire people from outside of the city is because they feel like that would remove someone saying like, okay, so there was a backhand deal that was made over here.
No,
or
exactly.
So I feel like that's why they do it.
Exactly.
I'm not saying we don't have qualified, but I do believe that there is a reason that sometimes you do have to not hire within the city, especially as contentious as Moreno Valley can get.
Sure, but like I said, Mike Lee's doing a great job, but look at the kind of jobs he's attracting here. Why can't we have Google? Why can't we have high-end jobs?
Does it have to do with Mike Lee or the instructions that he's being given of what we should attract here?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So then that comes, but the direction comes from city council for those instructions,
and
right?
that's where I'm saying where you're going to go. What are you going to do about?
Well, then I said this before. We need to instruct them because they say what we do what the majority council wants. So we need to instruct them. Hey, guess what? We need to go ahead and we need to do these types of jobs. We want these in here, or we want this type of business in here. You and I were just having a discussion about off of Alessandro, ABC Bowling is still vacant.
Yes.
That could be a trampoline park and an indoor miniature golf and an arcade. So maybe the instructions need to be specifically given. Trampoline park, indoor arcade, blah, 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 blah. Maybe those need to be given to them. Maybe what he's being told is warehouses because that's what brings
Mexican restaurants. Because it seems to me it's like whoever comes to Mike and says, hey, I want to put a Mexican restaurant. Okay, come on in. I want to put a warehouse. Okay, come on in. There's no... I think we deserve better. That's all I'm saying.
We do deserve better. I say this all the time, and my husband and I have this discussion all the time. I want a Waffle House.
Okay. No, that ain't going to happen over here.
People
don't appreciate Waffle House. Yeah,
Waffle Houses are good.
Yes. My brother's got stock in them. It wasn't for him, Waffle House would have gone under. My brother eats there all the time. So
I mean, those are things, but we have to direct them that that's what we want.
Okay.
They're being told by whoever's on city council right now.
Do the bare minimum.
But we want warehouses.
Yeah, because I remember Victoria Bach a few years ago says she wants to turn this into Little Mexico. So, and it looks like she's succeeding. But yeah, that's on record. She said that. But let me ask you this now. Let's get to know you.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about what high school you went to, what college you went to. We know you're a social worker. Just tell us a little about you.
So I was born in Orange County, which you are just bashing Orange County.
Hey, I went to St. Philip Benizi and Fullerton, so go ahead.
So I was born in Orange County. We moved to Riverside when I was about 4, and I was raised in Riverside. So I went to school in Riverside, and when I say I went to school, I mean Jefferson Elementary, Sierra Middle School, Ramona High School.
Gotcha.
So I am home of the Rams. So coming to Moreno Valley for me was a little bit of a culture shock from Riverside, essentially because there are just some things that are just different. I went to school locally at Cal State San Bernardino. I had the chance to go to school out of state, but at the time my grandmother had cancer, and so I just wanted to be close to her, and plus I was helping with being her caregiver.
Sure.
So I did 5 years at Cal State San Bernardino because what's an extra year?
Yeah, what's an extra year? You're on the quad,
when you're getting that 1 with 2 degrees, because they're going to charge you the same price anyway.
Right, absolutely.
So I have a degree in criminal justice and political science, which a lot of people are always like, well, how did you become a social worker? Because none of those is social worker. I fully thought I was going to go to law school. And then I went and worked with lawyers, and they were working 90-hour work weeks and were miserable. Yeah. And I said, that's never going to be me. But I did, while I was there, get a paralegal certification.
Yeah,
so
I
am
did the
an
paralegal.
ABA certified paralegal.
Yeah, I did the paralegal course.
Yeah, so I can do that. So after that, I went and got a job at the county as I started at the bottom as an office assistant because I was just
you get your foot
in the door, right? So I started as an office assistant. Within 6 months of that, I had worked myself into being an eligibility technician, which is someone who just does your applications for food stamps, Medi-Cal, cash aid, all of that. And about 2 years after that, I met a supervisor who unfortunately passed away earlier this month.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
And she talked with me about becoming a social worker and sat with me about how I could become one. Because she goes, you kind of do it already, so it's nothing. So that's what we did.
And it's more money. No, go ahead.
She did, and that's what we did. So Miss Diane sat with me, and she basically coached me on becoming a social worker, and that's how I landed up being a social worker. But I guess I can say every job and everything I've ever done has been a social worker. Social worker is caring for people, helping those that literally cannot help themselves.
Moreno Valley.
No. Moreno Valley can help themselves. They're going to help themselves by voting on November 6th.
Yes.
So everything I've done has been food services and just helping people out, and that's how I became a social worker.
Oh, right
and
on.
I love it.
Right on. So you've lived in Moreno Valley how long now, let's say?
2018, I got here in 05, so yeah.
So you've been here a bit.
Like 10, 15 years, yeah.
Yeah, your mom was in the Army, correct?
Yes, she was.
Yeah, so she's a veteran. So
and my grandfather is a retired gunny sergeant from the Marines.
Corps. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Don't let him hear that. He did 33 years.
Okay, wow.
Yes.
And that was like the real Marine Corps, the real old school ones.
Yes, and so I do have a history of dealing with the VA because we're still dealing with the VA, which I don't understand why they cannot get the VA together.
No, it's not going to. It's a bureaucracy. It's a big, big situation. But I'm at 100%. So
we got him at 100% too.
Okay,
so,
good. So you've been here a while. You just started a brand new family. Tell us a little bit about how you and your husband met real quick.
In a parking lot.
You were pumping gas at the gas station. He said, hey.
No. I was leaving work. And his mom and I worked together. And I was leaving work. And she was saying bye to me. And she was like, this is my son. And that's how we met.
Wow.
That's how we met.
And you guys have been together ever since?
No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. We went out on a date. NFL kickoff. It was right after the Saints had won the Super Bowl. Okay. And it was NFL kickoff. We went out on a date. And then he informs me that he's moving to Denver. So that's what happened. That was back in 2011. And so we spent the first 2 years of our relationship back and forth.
FaceTiming and all that other good stuff.
Yes, and it's a short 2-hour flight from here to Denver. So that's what we did.
Did you fly to Ontario or LAX?
No, I don't go to LAX. Okay. I go to Ontario.
Good.
By the way, that is something I have wanted to point out to people. My husband does work for Southwest Airlines, so if we're always looking for ways to save on the budget for the city, I fly free.
Yes.
And you don't have to worry about me having to pay for parking because he can either drop me off, pick me up, but I'm part of his flight benefits, so that's one way to save money.
Absolutely. As a military veteron, space available. You can jump on it, but I don't fly space available because it ain't like it used to be. But that's something good to know. So you guys, you're about 22 now. You always got to say that when you're dealing with the ladies.
I don't have a problem talking about LA.
Yeah. No, but you're still fairly young, and you guys just started your family.
Yes.
And how's it going so far?
It's going well. My son is 2.5 months. We have been walking and hitting these streets since he was 3 weeks old. So my son is a complete revolution baby. He gets it. He's very quiet. Donovan, and many of you can attest, my son is very sweet.
Yeah, very sweet guy.
You can hold him. You can talk with him. He'll smile at you.
See, I don't mean to cut you off, but I can see at the Democratic or Republican convention where he's taking the nomination. And part of his story was, I've been in politics since I was, all my life.
I know, and I've been taking him everywhere. I had to go down to the Board of Supervisors and speak on behalf of my union, and my baby was there with me. Yes. So this is who we are. I've given speeches even before he was born, where I was giving speeches when I was pregnant. This is just a part of who I am. My husband is very much understanding of that. But he always says he knew when he met me I was something special.
Something special, yeah. And recently your husband received his bachelor's in business.
Yes, he received his bachelor's in business. He actually finished it 4 days before our son was born.
Wow,
he was pushing
it to the limit.
He was pushing it to the limit, and I had to push him forward.
Right.
But he did it right before our baby was born. And matter of fact, my baby was born here in Moreno Valley at the Kaiser Alpha Iris.
Right on.
So we are fully enveloped in this city. We bought our house 2 minutes from my mom.
Yes.
He tried to move me out, but my mom's my girl, and I cried tears. I'm not leaving.
Well, like I said, a family is so important, and a lot of people forget that. It takes a village to raise a child, and when you have that extra family. Remember back you're kind of younger than me, but back in our day, there was no daycare. You either went to aunt or grandma, or somebody So.
And it's going to take a village to help me with this endeavor right here. Right. I don't want anyone to get nervous about it, like, oh, well, she's a new mom. How is she doing it? Right. I have been out here. I've been hitting the streets. I have not missed a candidate form. I have been responsive. If you have called me and left a message, because sometimes I don't get to the phone because I don't hear it. But if you've left me a message, sent me an email, I'm very responsive and very available. Because this is for me, this is my heart and my soul. Being a public servant is what I do for everything. And being a public servant and getting the honor of serving on city council is very near and dear to my heart, because I don't take being an elected official lightly. I know a lot of people do. I do not.
Right. Now that you have this new family, you got a new baby on the way, probably another one on the way after this one.
I'm not pregnant, so I'm not even talking.
No, but from experience as somebody who has two boys, the next one comes within a year or so. It just happens. That's just human nature. But a lot of people come to city council with school board problems. And now that you're a new mom, what is your take on the city's relationship with the school board?
We need to figure it out, repair it, and we need to figure out how to work together. Not just Moreno Valley Unified. I live in Valverde. On the side of town where I live in, because we're the cutoff, we live in the Valverde area. Mm-hmm. We all need to figure out how to work together, because at the end of the day, the kids are our focus. The kids are important, and we need to make sure that we're giving them every opportunity. So if there's something the city needs to do to help out the school district, then we need to do that and develop better partnerships.
Right. So basically, Junior's not going to be going to private school. He will be part of the Moreno Valley Valverde School District.
Yes, he will. That's where my tax dollars come from.
Okay.
And the thing is, if you demand excellency from your teachers, then they should be up to par, and you should be able to get that education out of your time. I'm a product of public school, so I don't have a problem going to public school. I'm a product of it. And that,
not me, but go ahead.
Because you're spoiled. You're a military
yeah, not me.
So we need to demand that type of excellency. And there are a lot of good teachers. I know I have friends that are teachers in Valverde and Moreno Valley Unified. So we need to just continue to have expectations and goals and make sure they're meeting them.
Now, you're saying we have a lot of good teachers. We have one that happens to be mayor, and the guy's a total idiot.
See, I knew you were going to go there.
Yeah, I'm going to go there. No. But speaking of the mayor, let's say for some hypothetical reason, God is punishing us and this guy wins re-election for some reason. Mm-hmm. Previously, he wanted a raise for a part-time job. What would be your stance on that?
You knew when you signed up for this, it was a part-time position. Mm-hmm. You knew what the pay was when you signed up. Do you go to your boss after you get hired and they tell you, I'm paying you $20 an hour? After you get hired and you agree to the $20 an hour, do you show up there and go, you know what, I want $30? You don't do that. Right. You knew what it was when you took the position and you were okay with it. The answer for me is no. Unless we're going to become a charter city like Riverside, mm-hmm. where you have veto powers, then there's no reason for you to be making any more money than you're already getting paid, because this was designed to be part-time. Now, what I will say is this. If we get to a point where the residents feel like they need more and more of their city council and their mayor,
we need to change our charter.
Then we need a charter. We need to be full-time. But even then, I still think 6 figures for me personally is still high.
That's excessive, yeah.
That's excessive. Beyond excessive. That's beyond high. I think that, maybe a good part-time legislator, 40 to 50 would be fine if we became a charter city.
Well, right now,
you're not supposed to become career officers.
Right. Well, right now, let's say a good example, your predecessor, Kid Carveras, you add up his total package. He's making $60,000 mm-hmm. with his cow peers and all that other health benefits and stuff. That's a part-time job. That's $60,000. That's more money than he's ever made. But there's also somebody on the council that says, well, maybe the council members need a raise too. What would be your stance on the council?
We don't need a raise. We don't need a raise.
And would the mayor be considered a council member?
Well, technically, is the mayor not considered a council member at large?
He is, but
right.
But if he wants a 6-figure salary, how does he justify that? And you guys not get a raise?
Right. Which is why you don't open Pandora's box to begin with, and the answer is no, straight up and down. Right. Because that's the first thing that'll happen. You get your 6-figure raise, everybody else is looking, okay, well, I know I'm not going to get 6 figures, but I should come right around.
Right. Because
we need to shut that down, because then if that's the case, there's no reason for us to be paying the city manager 6 figures. Exactly. There's no reason for us to be paying the city clerk 6 figures. There are things that there's no reason for us to do. Gotcha.
Which is very, very important. That's why I wanted to bring that out. That's very important. So when you guys have your off time and what do you like to do?
We're a combination of, I am a musical connoisseur.
Okay, I was about to say, please don't say we sit and watch Netflix. Don't do that.
I mean, that's not a lie, we do. So I'm a musical connoisseur, so I go to all the concerts. Mm-hmm. The only one that I haven't been able to get to that has broken my heart, because this is my girl, is Janet Jackson. Okay. I have not missed a concert since Velvet Rope, but mm-hmm. with the baby, the wedding, buying the house, I had to give up something. Right. So my husband never went to concerts, but I have dragged him to everything mm-hmm. from Lenny Kravitz to Aerosmith. I actually am talking into Britney Spears in Vegas because she just started her residency.
Okay.
We like to go bowling. We do
You guys
some
are bowlers.
hiking.
Okay.
Yeah, we do some hiking. We're a big traveling family. I cannot wait to get the baby his passport in a few months. So we like to go to. We don't consider Vegas a vacation.
Yeah, it's not a vacation.
But we like to go to. We've done
Cabo,
London,
San Lucas, and
yeah, we've done London, Cabo. We've done Punta Cana, Dublin. So we like to go places like that. My ultimate, very most I love to go is DC. If you don't know, I love going to DC. I've gone 7 or 8, 9 times.
Why, you plan to go there as a senator someday, or
no? It's a very rich area, and I
Yeah.
love going to the DMV.
Yeah.
So if anybody knows, no one knows what that means. That is DC, Maryland, Virginia. That's how you know I go a lot.
Exactly.
So I love to
Chocolate
go to DC.
City, Chocolate City, right there in Baltimore. It's beautiful.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
So we like to do stuff like that, and we like to just go and hang out as a family. We play family games here at the house. My mom, my sister comes over, my brother.
So let's get back to your area. This is a high end, considered a high end of the city because you are on the east side. These homes over here, you have a very lovely home too, compared to where I live. I live in the hood.
It's not that bad, Jonathan.
No, it's not that bad.
House.
No, I'm working on it, but it's still. I'm in that zone. A lot of people don't talk about this, but there's a lot of people that have put up their homes for sale on this side of the city. How do we stop these people from giving up on Moreno Valley? And
we stop by not always having warehouses.
Okay.
Nobody wants to live by a warehouse at the end of the day. We start by, and I say this all the time, improving public safety, not through necessarily officers, but actual community engagement. How many people can really tell me they know their neighbors?
Well, I know my neighbors. But I'm in an old neighborhood. I'm in an old neighborhood. So.
But I know my neighbors, but a lot of people can't say that. Can you really point out if someone doesn't belong in your neighborhood? We can over here. My neighbor next door had a baby. My neighbor over here is a nurse. The neighbor on the other side of her had a baby. Like, we know these things about each other. Now, we might not necessarily know everyone's name, but we know everyone's face.
Okay.
You know, I've got a neighbor down here. She runs a daycare. I've got another neighbor. He runs a trucking place. You got to know these things about your neighbors. Okay. You got to know when something looks out of place. Right. And so sometimes a lot, especially when you get a lot of renters coming in and out, not everyone's a homeowner. People start to go, why am I investing? Why is there's no beautification around here? That's why code enforcement is important when they're enforcing their policies of keeping your lawn up, making sure you don't have abandoned cars all over the place.
Wait a minute. We have code enforcement? Because I haven't seen them in years.
Code enforcement is around. They say if you notify them, they will come out. That's one thing that I do. I
thought they cut that out of the budget. I haven't seen them. So
no, they're still there.
Because if you look at some of these neighborhoods,
they're still there. That's one of my main things is code enforcement. We have illegal dumping on my street all the time because not only do I live by a warehouse, but right behind me is a open field. Yeah. That's supposed to be for residential, but they've never developed it. So there's illegal dumping that happens there all the time. So that's something that I would like code enforcement to come and work out.
Let me ask you a question. It's a personal question, and unfortunately, we have 3 people on the dais. Well, there's really 4, but these 3, the perception is everything at City Hall is Hispanic. Everything is Hispanic. What are you going to do to diversify events and things within the city? It seems like everything is Mexican restaurant, Mexican Day this, Day of the Dead of that. And don't get me wrong, that's important because
I love Day of the Dead.
Yeah,
I love Coco, by the way.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, but just because your culture or your people are the majority doesn't. What happened to the rest of us? Is my question. What are you going to do to bring other things?
So the expansion of that comes with people having open minds, right? It's always not just thinking about yourself and who you are and making everything cultural like that. One thing that I did bring up at the candidate forum last night was Asian Pacific Islander Month is coming up. That's in March. Black History Month is in February. You have Women's Month that we can do. And actually, the Women's March is coming up January 19th of 2019 in downtown Riverside.
Oh, I don't support that.
Okay, we're going to have a men's march. It's okay. We'll have a men's march. You can come to that.
As you know, on my show, I conscribe to the book of Ike Turner.
You do not.
I do.
Donovan.
Hey, Ike made a very successful black woman. What the problem is?
Where is D? I need D. So you do that by talking to the different cultures. Like, for instance, I have a friend whose son plays at Moreno Valley High School, and he's a football player. Do you know, and they're Samoan, do you know that the football players do a haka and the black players are the ones leading it? That should tell you something about diversity in our city.
Right.
These are the things you can do. You can bring these other cultural events out. You can keep your Day of the Dead. You can keep your Grito. You can keep your Latin Film Festival, but mix in a Juneteenth.
Yeah, because we
mix
don't
in
see
some
anything.
other things going on. Chinese month, Chinese American month. Like you can mix all of these things in there.
So are you going to be vocal? So you're going to be vocal?
I'm going to be vocal. I'm going to be vocal. And actually, I work with groups where this is already stuff that we do.
You know, because people always call me out because I'm always talking about Hispanic. I live in a Hispanic neighborhood now. You know, the demographics have changed. Young Hispanic families are coming into my neighborhood, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I am the block captain, so, you know, even though they don't like me, I'm like, hey, you ain't coming in here doing all that craziness. So, but I feel that as a black man, that I have no identity in this city. You know, so we need to do something to change that. And I know if I feel that way, others who are not Hispanic feel the same way.
Right. You know, it goes back to hiring teachers that look like their students, right?
Sure.
That if young black males see other black males that are teachers and they know I can be a teacher, you know, it's the same thing in this diverse culture, which is Moreno Valley is extremely diverse, but everyone needs representation because representation is important. And that goes for spreading out all the cultural events they have. Why are we only having certain ones? We need to have them for everybody.
Everybody. One thing that I know in California, my brother always calls me and he says, you know, 'cause he has his classic cars, which is a great idea. Everybody, you know, especially the Hispanic culture started that classic car craze. It's, you know, you can go to all the different cities. It's like a circuit out here. You know, we need to start doing that and, you know, and promoting that and bringing people together. But there are factions on that council that intentionally split people up, and we need to start coming together.
Right. So one thing my opponent said his motto is honesty, integrity, unity.
And he knows nothing about those words, but go ahead.
The issue that I have, and I brought this up, was you are part of the reason we don't have unity in this community. You specifically, even when you're voting and doing things, make sure that you show that there is no unity. So we need to do that. We need to bring the unity back here. We all get along. We're all neighbors. We're all fine. So why is it when it comes to city events or even going to city council, all of a sudden the lines are drawn? We need to get outside of the lines and return back to who we are, which is just being human.
Right. As you said and alluded before, like you said, me and you have a contentious relationship, and we're getting there. But at the end of the day, if you know the people that really know me, I will sit here and talk to you, and you know, listen to your side of the story and get your little side of the story out, or whatever. Even if I don't agree with you, I can respectfully disagree, and we need to get back to that.
And that's what we need to do.
Right,
you should be able to respectfully disagree. It's just in the current culture and the current climate. It's not just the city of Moreno Valley. Yeah. It is the country that people feel like if we don't agree, we are at war and there's nothing you can do about it.
I'm deleting you from Facebook.
Right. It is World War III in these streets if we don't agree. And we just need to get back to the level of, you know, we can agree to disagree because we may find other issues that we agree on. Or how do you really know someone's stance if you're not willing to listen to them? And they may tell you something you never thought about before.
Exactly. And I'm always willing to, even though I get a lot of death threats and people want to beat me up and stuff, I'm always willing to listen to the other side. But it doesn't mean you're going to change my mind. But I'll listen, and I might learn something, you know. So, and like I said, I learned a lot about you when we first got together. But we got about 5 minutes left, so I'm going to give you your last bit to kind of say whatever you want to say, and you know, give us a little hint of your victory speech, and all that other good stuff like that.
So ballots have just hit. A lot of you are still getting them. I just got mine yesterday. If you have a mail-in ballot, we have the luxury of living in the area closest to the registrar of voters. Yeah. Please go over to the ROV, drop it in their drop box.
Yes.
It is open 24 hours. Even if you do it on election day, it's like a drive-through window. You just pass it to them, drop it off. Go and vote early. The voter registrars are taking early votes, and next Saturday you can go vote over there the next 2 Saturdays, the 27th and November 3rd. Vote early. Take a friend with you. Remind your family and friends to vote. Also, I'm asking you to vote for me because I'm trying to restore integrity, representation, and honesty and transparency back to our city government. Something that a lot of you, when I'm talking to you guys and knocking on doors, don't think there is anymore. I believe we can still take that back and we can still have that. I'm here to help you and be the listening ear that you feel you haven't received and that you no longer have on city council. And I want you to do me the honor of voting for me on November 6th. I can't promise you that we're going to agree on everything. I can't promise you I'm going to vote the right way all the time. But what I can promise you is we're going to have a real discussion. There's going to be real deliberation up there. And we're going to come to a solution that benefits the entire community and not a select few. Okay? A lot of people ask me, are you Democrat, Republican?
Doesn't matter.
This is a nonpartisan race. But even above that,
well, lie like Trump and say you are.
No,
go ahead.
even above that, I always say this, no matter what, it doesn't matter if they're a Democrat, Republican, non-party preference. It matters if their views, ideas, and their goals and their vision match with yours. It should never matter about party. I come from an attitude of people before party. And that's what you should be looking for in your elected officials. People before party. So vote for someone that you believe aligns with what you want. Not just because you don't like the other guy, but because their vision, their attitude, and what they're speaking about and what they stand for ethically rocks with yours. So on November 6th, I ask that you humbly please cast your vote for me. If you have any questions, my website is barnardforcitycouncil.com. My phone number 951-210-6173. You can find me on Facebook at Cheylynda Barnard. And, just come out and have a conversation, talk with me. We have 18 days left. And remember, voter apathy is still a vote. So Get out there and vote. Do not think that your vote does not matter. You vote for American Idol. You voted for Dancing with the Stars. Right. Vote for your elected officials.
Right. I'm going to tell you guys out there that are listening, like me, hate me, whatever you need to do, you have to vote because it is that important. If you're like me and you are tired in the direction that the city of Moreno Valley is going, in the District 4, you have two choices. And to me, the only choice, if you want to move the city in a different direction, because Kerberos is going in a direction totally, I think, is wrong, is Cheylynda Barnard. And if he wins, this is what we get, and this is what we deserve. And I think that we need to go into a different direction and bring integrity and trust so that we can all move forward. And I think that you are one of those candidates that is going to change the perception of Moreno Valley around and bring us along as your boss to put the city straight. So I wish you all the best of luck. But then again, a person who's going to win doesn't need luck. So you guys, please check out.
I take nothing for granted. Do not believe Donovan.
Well, hey. I mean, I just know. I mean, you're just an incredible person. You're doing all the right things. You've been in the city a long time. Again, I can do a lot of transparency between you and your opponent. And the proof is in the pudding. Everybody knows I don't just talk. I drop documents. And when this guy ran, we didn't even know he was a resident. We still don't know if he's a legal resident of the city based on where he came from and all this stuff. So the proof is in the pudding. One of the questions I would like to ask him is, he had said that when he got elected, he was going to go back to school. Has that actually happened? He said he was going to go back full time. So we got some questions, but I reached out to him, and we'll see if he goes to that. But you guys, check Cheylynda's website out. Please call her if you got any questions. And where is the victory party going to be?
We are not sure about a victory party yet. We will talk about it on November 6th.
Okay. And wait, real quick. November 6th, where are we going to be at? Are you guys just going to do a family thing?
Yeah, but we do open our house to family and friends. So if you guys want to come over, honestly, we are
street party. You got it blocked off.
Yeah, we do. We're very cordial. Everybody likes to come over here, play some Jenga with us. We have Uno, BizWiz,
Right, that's what I'm saying. I mean, let's get it cracking over here and get that celebration going early. And like I said, I wish you all the best of the luck. If you do win, are you going to be re-electing? How long do you plan to stay?
Let's talk about the first 4
years.
There you
go. Let's cross that. Right. Let's cross that bridge first. All right, you guys. Again, thank you guys for listening in. This has been Cheylynda Barnard in District 4. We wish her all the luck. I think she's going to win. We'll put this up a little bit later. This is Donovan Sadiq Show. You have been informed, and what do I always say? Brace for impact. It's going down. Don't believe the hype. This isn't hype. This is real.